Leonardo da Vinci, he definitely made a major impact as a military designer and engineer. This is when he came under the employ of a man named Caesar Borgia. A lot of you brothers are familiar with Caesar Borgia. Leonardo fell under his patronage from, I believe it was the early 1500s, 1501 or 1502, one of those years. You brothers could look it up. And he was involved in the design of a lot of military equipment. And of course, also, Leonardo da Vinci decided to use Caesar Borgia as the muse for the image of Christ that we know today. Okay? In addition to his pedophile victim, his boy toy, Salai, who he also used to depict John the Baptist. So this also is what the Renaissance is also about, which is the defiling, the purposeful defiling of a lot of the historical biblical figures, constantly to depict them as, naked Caucasian men, really to depict Bacchus. This is why you have, David with a fig leaf over, over his penis and things of that nature. Moses, with the horns, things of that nature.
The Aspen Institute, the nonprofit think tank Isaacson helped to shape for many years, recently held a celebration of all things Leonardo on its Colorado campus.
Glider, and he did it in Milan off one of them.
Sketches were transformed into three-dimensional models. The famous helicopter.
I think it was first designed for the theater, because he was doing all these amazing props, having people fly and descend and ascend on the stage.
Yeah, look, Leonardo da Vinci is a very interesting character. I bought a book many years ago showing all of his sketches. He definitely was extremely inquisitive and a polymath, no doubt about that.
An underwater diving apparatus.
He said it would be a great way to sort of attack ships. In fact, he kept secret some of the details for fear that the enemies could figure it out.
But it's Leonardo's sketches that may set him apart. Okay, this is the big moment, right? Now so valuable that when curators at New York's Metropolitan Museum agreed to give us a peek,
Actually, nervous. Oh my goodness.
At first they would only show us copies, until we promised to limit exposure to our television lights.
Yeah, the copies they probably show you weren't even drawn by him, because a lot of shit that they show is fake.
When I saw these for the first time, it's like, oh my goodness, there's the hand of the artist. And it's just as if he were making it in front of me. Every time you see it, there's a new layer to appreciate.
Here's the head of a man in profile. This is a design for a stage setting. A bear walking. And the head of the Virgin.
That's not no head of no damn virgin. That's the head of his boyfriend, Salai. Okay? That's exactly who the hell that is.
Something's happening here. Something's caught her eye. She has turned her head. It's a study from many paintings he would do later, but you realize that he didn't just love objects.
And this guy, Walter Isaacson, knows about all this shit already, but his job is to promote and push the narrative. Leonardo da Vinci is heavily venerated because of the work that he did to push forward humanism and the Renaissance, once again, and the veneration of the god Bacchus. Okay?
He understands how human movements reflect the emotions of the mind.
Only one Leonardo painting is in the collection of an American museum. This portrait of Ginevra da Vinci at the National Gallery of Art in Washington. How did it help change Renaissance painting?
Well, up until then, Renaissance painting had sort of sharp lines. And Leonardo said that's not the way nature works. So there's a smokiness to the lines. But the great thing about this picture is you see a young Leonardo who's on the path to painting the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, you might literally be looking at a young Leonardo, because knowing him, that's probably his face, and he's just there dressed up in drag. Once again, many of these paintings that are depicted in sketches are sketches that he did of himself in drag or one of his male lovers in drag. He had a series of boy lovers, I should say, not male lovers, boy lovers. Salai, Francesco Melzi, he had quite a few.
But this isn't the Mona Lisa.